I occasionally get asked where I find the rare fish that I have in the fish tank barn. So today I want to take you along to one of my favorite places to find rare fish, and that's the Chicago Livebearer Society Rare Fish Auction and the Greater Chicago Cichlid Association Swap, which were held on the same day at the same location. So let's take a look at both of the events, as well as the new fish I picked up for the fish barn. The Greater Chicago Cichlid Association Swap was held first in the morning. I really want to take you on a walk through this event so you can have an idea of both the scope and the size of the event itself. As you can see, this is an extremely large event that attracted both a large amount of shoppers as well as a large amount of vendors. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights of what you can find at the tables. I've always enjoyed this vendor setup. It's very similar to what you would see in some of the fish markets in China. As you can see, there's a ton of variety of fish and plants that you can purchase, and I couldn't help but pick up a few things. I've been going through a little bit of a Corydoras phase lately, and I found a couple of rare Corydoras species that I couldn't pass up on. There was a vendor there that had quite a few different species, so I decided to pick up 8 of these Corydoras ghostii, which I decided to house with my group of Amica splendens, and I also found some Corydoras concolor that I couldn't pass up on as well. I ended up putting the 4 fish that I purchased with my black swordtails. I also picked up a group of Melanitania bosemani from Aves Creek from one of the vendors as well. I originally had purchased a group from Dan, but unfortunately lost them, so I'm really happy to have these back in the fish room. I ended up putting these in a 54-gallon bow front with a lot of my other schooling fish. I do want to give a shout out to the person who was selling these fish, because he did give me a free bag of these to go with the fish that I purchased, so I definitely do appreciate it. The Chicago Livebearer Society also had a table, and I decided to pick up some Xiphophorus calmani. Even though I've had this species for quite a long time, unfortunately, I really haven't had a male in quite some time. So I was happy to pick up a trio and add some additional females, as well as the male to this tank. Well, I'm really excited about the GCCA Swap and the new fish that I purchased there. The real highlight for me is the Chicago Livebearer Society Rare Fish Auction. If you're looking for rare fish, this is one of the places I would highly recommend to look. As you'll see in the upcoming auction clip, some of these fish can be kind of spendy, but in my opinion, these fish are worth it.
Here's your receipt to go to the event.
Hey, don't let me catalog, I don't know. Oh, PBO? 7 young Alatoka Mikai from a PBO. The one in, I think it's one only location for them. Anyhow, there's 7 fish in the bag. Who's starting up $20 for 7 Mikai? Got 20, one for 21, 2, 4, 6, 8, 32, 4, 6, 8, 42, 4, 6, 8, 55, 60, 55. 55 over 60 standing, 65, 75, 85, 95, 105, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 145, 150. 150 standing, do we see 155? $150, buyer number 43.
If you watch my recent fish room tour video, there were some fish that I mentioned that I was looking to increase my numbers for, either because they were older or because I only had a pair or single individual fish. My plan for this auction was to maybe get 1 or 2 new species and then to look for some additional individuals to add to some of the species where I have smaller numbers. I'll have to say, I was pretty successful in my goal. The first new species I want to show you is one that the channel veterans will know and love, and that's the Xiphophorus montezumae from Rio Tomasopo. I had an original group a couple years ago, but unfortunately lost them, so I'm really happy to have this in my fish room again. This current group are fairly small fry, so I'll be allowing them to grow out in this 20-gallon tank before moving them to larger quarters once they grow out. I'm pretty excited to have this fish back in the fish room, and I'm really excited to see how the males turn out with their long swords. I'm also excited for these Gerardus faculatus, or gold belly top minnow, which is a fish I've not really seen for sale before in the hobby. I was able to get a trio of these fish, and I really do enjoy the colors on the male. I already have its cousin, the Gerardus metallicus, here in the fish room, so my plan is to keep them in much the same manner. I currently have these in a 20-gallon long, and I'm really looking forward to this new breeding project. So now let's head and talk about the Xiphophorus cuccianus. This is a species I've had in the fish room for quite a while, and while it initially bred for me, it's not been breeding in the last year or so. I decided it was time to add some more individuals to this group, so hopefully the addition of a new pair will hopefully spur some breeding of these fish in the near future. This species is extinct in the wild, so I find it very important to keep this fish breeding and keep the fry production up so I can preserve this fish for generations in the future. I was also able to purchase 2 additional pairs of the Cracodon audax to add to my additional pair in this 20-gallon high. I've had this original pair for quite some time and unfortunately have not seen any fry. This is one of my favorite Gadaeid species, so I'm really hopeful that some new additions will spur some fry production and we'll be able to see some fry from these fish very soon. There's also some potential that I may move these fish to a larger tank, also to help spur some fry production and provide some more territories for the males. I learned a very valuable lesson with the Xiphophorus malinche. At one point, I had a great growing colony of these fish, but unfortunately, I lost all but one male since I sold too many of them and also had my fish room overheat last summer, which caused me to lose the rest of the fish. I was very happy to be able to find some fry of these fish so I can get this colony going again. I really like the pattern on this fish, and I'm really looking forward to getting this fish back in my fish room and get this colony growing again. I'm currently housing the single male and fry in this 29-gallon tank along with some Zoogeneticus tequila. We'll see how this pairing works out going into the future. I hope that you enjoyed taking a look at both the GCCA Swap and the Chicago Livebearer Society auction. I would highly recommend that you check out both the organizations and these events in the near future if you're close to the Chicago area. They're both great organizations and put on great events. I'm really excited with the new fish as well, and hopefully I can get some of these breeding in the near future and give you some great updates. So with that being said, stay safe, stay fishy, and I'll catch you on the next video.